Hey, your viewers and viewesses, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome back to Sir You're Being Hunted. This is episode 248. So remember, of course, we're here on the West Island, soon to be clearing it out, hopefully. So, we've got, of course, device piece over there, and we've got other ones marked out. Well, we've got all three marked out, haven't we? So basically, last episode I fucked around, because I was recording last episode after a bit of a gap between recording sessions. I completely forgot I'd already seen that device piece over there that was completely unguarded, and as a result, I was looking around for that final third device piece, not realising I'd already discovered it. So yeah, so now it's just a matter of finding the landowner, and then we can crack on and get things done. Now, device piece number 2 is off over there, which is pretty good, and the other one's off in that direction towards the coast up there. So like I say, we just need to locate wherever the landowner is, and then we can crack on. We can get his attention, get him locked onto us, and then we can sort this place out, which will be awesome. So I hope you guys, of course, are all doing well out there. It's actually been a while since my last recording session with where I did the last episode, the one where I was talking about brutalism and Trellick Tower and all that. So yeah, I had to kind of refresh my memory a little bit. But the thing is, it didn't take too long actually. It wasn't too bad. Because, of course, last episode was quite memorable for all the wrong reasons, essentially because I completely fucked up and forgot that I already knew where all the device pieces were. But what can you do, eh? It happens. People have these moments. I'd like to plead that it was a senior moment, but then again, I'm not even, well, still in my friggin' late 20s. I can't exactly plead senior moment, can I? You can't start pleading that until you're in your bloody 60s at the very earliest. Oh dear, what am I like, eh? Absolutely terrible. But of course, hope you guys are all doing very well out there. You know, enjoying the series, enjoying this challenge in particular, the backwards challenge or whatever it's called, Alert Lander. The backwards challenge? Where the fuck did that come from? No, that's actually a challenge that's on my list of possibilities that people have suggested to me. But no, this one is the Alert Landowner challenge. God, I don't know. Getting mixed up. It's late afternoon, everybody. I've been at work today, working away and beavering away, so, you know, now's my downtime. It's time for me to relax. There's the landowner, old boy, old chum. Oi, why don't you notice me, senpai? I'm up here. Right. Come on. Yeah, he's seen me. Yeah, you better fucking come this way, buddy. Right, luckily, because he's so easy, God, I can't speak, easy to outrun, there shouldn't be too much of a problem, should it? So we've got all kinds of gear on us, bottles, dynamite, guns now, we have those. So really, you know, I could friggin' just steamroll in and just shoot the place up if I wanted to. Good. So I was also actually, you know, because I always like to have a good topic of conversation to talk about in various episodes, or something to act as a kind of springboard for a good conversation. I was actually looking online just before this recording session, came across a rather interesting news story. Apparently, I wasn't really aware of this, but according to a news website that I was looking at, apparently, since the 1980s in France, it has been the case that there have been a load of strange items washing up on French shores. In terms of strange items, what I basically... Oh, fuck, I don't have enough room for this device piece, because I'm an idiot. Right, we're going to have to dispose of some bottles. But as I was saying, essentially... Oh, crap, didn't mean to do that. But in France, of course, since the 1980s, you've had these strange objects washing up on French shores. And these strange objects are basically telephones that are shaped to look like Garfield. You know, the cartoon cat. So I just came across this story online. It was an amusing little thing. But apparently, people now think they've cracked the mystery, so to speak, of where all these telephones shaped like Garfield are coming from. Because apparently these cartoon phones, they're like novelty things that were made in the 80s or the 70s or whenever. And apparently they're designed so that when you pick up the receiver, it's like Garfield's eyes open. It's very peculiar. It is tat, essentially, let's be honest. I don't know who the hell would seriously want to buy a phone that looks like Garfield, because it just sounds kitschy as hell. But, yeah, so, you know, people have been thinking that, well, of course, as is probably the case with a lot of stuff that you get floating up from the sea, it's probably fallen overboard of a ship at some point, of a container ship or something. That's probably the case in this instance, that sometime in the 80s or whenever, a cargo ship, or container ship rather, was probably, I don't know, caught in bad weather, and maybe it was kind of rolling or pitching about in the water. Maybe one of the containers just sort of fell loose and broke away. I mean, that's usually kind of how it goes, isn't it? But yeah, so that's the thing, you know, they reckon that that's probably the cause, and local people in the area reckon that basically the container in question is probably in a hidden area of the shoreline, in part of a local area of France. So an area basically that you wouldn't really know about unless you were a local. So yeah, that's they reckon is why it's gone unnoticed for so long. But it's a peculiar story, I'll say that. A very peculiar story. But it actually reminds me of what was it? Blue Planet 2, the documentary that came out here in the UK, and which no doubt has probably been screened around the world, with, you know, David Attenborough narrating it. Blue Planet was, you know, the original Blue Planet was an amazing documentary, but Blue Planet 2, I watched bits of it, and it was fantastic. I mean, the cinematography in that is just incredible, but what can you say? But, you know, I remember one episode in that documentary, they actually had something very similar. It was like a container load of rubber ducks, you know, bathroom rubber ducks, that had presumably come out of a container from a ship, and were being washed up in all kinds of remote areas of the world and whatever else have you, which is fascinating, you know. But it's just, what it goes to show really is the kind of what I'm trying to say here. What it kind of goes to show is how the currents of the world's oceans work. It's incredible stuff, really, that, you know, some object that a human has created and which has been deposited into the ocean at one point in the world can be carried right around to the opposite side of the planet. You know, and I've said this in other videos of mine, but I've always been kind of fascinated by the ocean. When I was a kid, I used to have all kinds of books about sea creatures, and it was amazing stuff, you know. And so, yeah, that's why I found Blue Planet such a fascinating documentary. But it also goes to show, of course, the amount of plastic pollution that is in our oceans today. It's kind of sad in many ways, because we as, you know, a human species really do have to kind of get on top of this problem, because the amount of long while. Because, of course, you know, prior to August last year, I was living back up north in Lancashire. And of course, the only real notable coastal location... I did not fucking mean to do that. I meant to get out my torch, press the wrong bloody hotkey. Well, that's my freaking shotgun out of ammo, so I might as well friggin... Well, maybe I'll keep hold of it, I don't know. Keep hold of it for the time being. Okay. But as I was saying, you know, back when I was living up north, the only real location which had like a beach was obviously Blackpool. Well, actually, I haven't said that. No, I mean, there are other locations in Lancashire where, you know, there are probably nice beaches, but the most well-known, that's what I'm trying to say, in Lancashire, of course, is Blackpool, but of course that's well-known for all the wrong reasons. Because, you know, no offence to any people from Blackpool here, but let's be honest, it is a fucking shithole. Like I say, I'm probably offending all the Blackpool residents there, but fucking hell. I mean, I've been there a few times, and good God, you cannot hide the fact that Blackpool is an absolute pile of poop. I mean, you know, you go in there and it's just, it's so much litter, and it's so kind of tacky in areas with the illuminations and all that. I'm sorry to anybody who is from Blackpool who likes it, but that is just the way I see it, you know. And I can say that because I lived up north for a long period of my life. Deposit those quickly before that rider sees me. Go, 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 go. We did the West Island. What's the remaining one? The North Island. That's where we need to go. So let's go in this direction then. Right. So, of course, you know, and of course, you know, the beach at Blackpool, getting back to the topic at hand, you know, I don't recall it being anything particularly special. But, you know, like I say, there are, now that I actually think about it, there are areas of Lancashire which did have nice kind of shorelines and beaches. I mean, Morecambe Bay is not Morecambe itself, but Morecambe Bay is regarded as being an area of natural beauty. The only thing is, of course, with Morecambe Bay is it's a bit of a treacherous area, because of course it has a bit of a reputation for the intertidal sands, things like that, and there have been incidents in the past of people wandering too far out onto the sands, getting bogged down, and then, the tide comes in and they end up in trouble because, of course, they're stuck, they're cut off by the waters as they're rising, and then they drown, basically, and the emergency services can't get to them in time because of how hazardous it is. But, yeah, that's Morecambe Bay. So I suppose, yeah, that's alright. But, I imagine there are probably some very nice beach locations in the UK that I don't really know about. Obviously, probably a lot of people talk about Bournemouth, but I see pictures of Bournemouth Beach in the UK and it just looks so fucking crowded. With the amount of people just sunbathing, with the towels out, and it's just so crammed full of people. So yeah, okay, here we are on the North Island. There's a friggin' device piece right off the bat, but it's already defending. I see the landowner actually in the background behind it. Interesting. Okay, we'll mark that out on the map, just temporarily. Well, that's actually quite a convenient one, isn't it? If it's literally right there, where am I? I'm down here, so we'll put it about there, drop marker 1. Good, we'll do some scouting. And whilst we're doing that, we'll continue talking. But of course, that's enough about friggin' UK beaches. Obviously, getting back to Blue Planet, though, I was talking Blue Planet 2 specifically. The one episode actually that really stood out to me in that documentary series was the one where they were looking at abyssal life forms. Because, I can't remember, have I said this before in a video? Probably not in this particular series in Sir, but probably in a different series of mine. Whatever that may be. I probably said this before, but the thing is, the ocean is fascinating to me because it is kind of, in my opinion, and probably many other people's opinion too, that sort of last realm on Earth where everything is utterly alien and just downright weird. Because some of the life forms that you find in the ocean, like I say, they're just so strange and prehistoric. And of course, the episode of Blue Planet 2, where they went down, the documentary makers that is, went down into the abyss and really filmed some peculiar fish and life forms, of course, just kind of really hammers home that point that life in the oceans is so strange sometimes compared to life on land. And that's just what's fascinating about it, really. But yeah, I remember some of the life forms, of course, which they depicted. Was, one of them which was really strange was I think is it called the barrel eye fish? I'm not quite sure. I may flash up some pictures on the screen as I'm talking about this. But there's one, I think it's either called like a barrel eye fish or a barrel fish, something like that. I don't know. I can't quite remember. But essentially, it's really fucking strange because it looks like an ordinary fish from most angles, except when you look at it at an angle where you can see its head, because it's like the top half of its head is translucent and you can literally see its brain and its internal organs of its head and things like that. It's very peculiar. But what that helps it to do is to look up through its own head so it can see predators swimming above it, which is just fucking crazy. It's insane, really. And of course, another life form which actually was depicted in shown in Blue Planet 2's Abyss episode was, of course, the Humboldt squid, which is, a fairly sizable type of squid. I think they can grow anywhere between 1 and 2 metres in length, and they usually congregate in huge shoals and schools, or whatever the correct term is. But the thing about Humboldt squid is their behaviour is often kind of unpredictable. You see, the truth about them is that we know very, very little about Humboldt squid behaviour, and sometimes their behaviour, according to various divers who've swam with shoals of them, or with individuals, have often said that sometimes their behaviour seems really just curious, but other times it's like they go into a feeding frenzy and they become real fucking aggressive. But the footage that was actually seen of them in Blue Planet 2 kind of illustrated the aggressive side of them, in that they will literally cannibalise each other if there is kind of no real food for them to have. So, the famous shot in Blue Planet 2 was of two yeah, two squids in particular, and one of them just rams into the other one, kills it, and as it's about to consume it, a bigger squid then freaking flies in and nabs its dinner. Yeah, and then shoots off into the darkness with it. Kind of creepy, yeah. But it's fascinating stuff. If you've never seen Blue Planet 2, I'm sure you can probably find it online, streaming on various streaming services or whatever. Incredible stuff. Incredible indeed. But yeah. Oh man. So Humboldt squid, barrel eye fish. And of course, you know, that's just two particular life forms that I remember from the Blue Planet 2 documentary. I'm sure there were many others, but from my own knowledge, of course, from childhood, things like that, the abyss is really friggin' freaky in terms of the sort of life forms you get down there. You know, anglerfish, viperfish, all kinds of weird shit. Very peculiar. Right. No sign of any further device species. I should really just be looking for wisps and following those. But yeah. Okie doke. If we go over here. Right. There's a barrel in this barn. Let's have a look at what we got. Anything? No? Okay. God, look at the way the sunlight shimmers through those trees. Such a nice graphical effect, that. Always appreciate it. I do love the amount of detail that that big robot did put into making so you're being hunted. Even today. Such a nice, relaxing game to play. Oh. Except, of course, when you're trying to evade robots. Freaking hell. Getting gas from my tea as I spoke. There. Yeah. Nope. Don't be a bitch, please. Just let me wander through on my business. Okay. Okay. By the way, if anyone knows any good ocean documentaries out there... Oh, scanner! Oh, I've not had to use one of those in a while. I'll take that, even though it is kind of packing up my inventory a bit. Of course, we've got bottles and things that we can use, if need be. We'll put that in slot 6, since obviously we've got no freaking shotgun ammo, so there's no point having that shotgun in there anymore, is there? Anything? Oh, I need to remember that the robots can technically hear the sound of this thing, can't they? But yeah, as I was saying a moment ago, no, don't do that. Never mind what it is, just go over there. Seriously. But yeah, as I was saying, if anyone knows any good documentaries on the ocean, on ocean life, things like that, you know, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm always interested. Things I say as an individual, I don't really watch a lot of TV. You know, if I watch things, usually it's online on YouTube, things like that. But yeah, I haven't really watched much TV in a while. If ever I turn my TV on, it's usually just because I like to sometimes switch it on and have it on in the background as I'm doing housework. Oh, we've picked something up, but that could actually be the device piece that we picked up before. We are getting closer to it, though, aren't we? Yeah, this definitely looks like the one I identified earlier. Because it's, well, not far from the jetty by the looks of it. Is that the same one? Come to think of it. I don't know. It could be. Yeah, I think it may be, actually. Possibly. Okay. We've seen that one already. Oh god, don't want to be swimming, thanks. Yaw. Okay, well that's over there. We'll just leave that. Leave them to do their thing. Wherever they are. Okay. Yeah, so like I say, I'm not a big TV fan. Because, I'll be honest, you know, we have so many bloody TV channels these days, but you look through them all, and half the time it's all just shit. You see, I'm sorry if anyone, you know, is a big fan of various televisual programs out there. You are a bit close for comfort, you are, matey. Don't like it. I don't like you being there. Okay, just give him a wide berth, let him do his thing, and we'll go buggering off in this direction. Oh no! No, that might be a separate device piece, actually. Ah, because I just saw a smoke column in the distance when I was looking around. Okay, no. I think it is a separate device piece. We're just going to put a marker there, because it's a different one. Okay, we've identified where number 2 is. But the question is, where's number 3? That I do not know. That's number 1, which is near the jetty. Yeah, so you just go and do your thing, matey. don't you fucking bring that rider over to me. Otherwise that's a problem. Shit. Okay, time to get to the jetty. And get to a safe location, I do think. Okay, over here. A retreat, ladies and gentlemen, in this direction. Okay. Right, they can't deal with me now. If I just stay crouched over here, we'll be okay, I do think. Alright, I think looking at the time, I think it's time to wrap this episode up as well, because I've been recording for a while, about 20 minutes, thereabouts, just over, which is usually standard length for a Sir episode, which is pretty good. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining me for episode 248 of Sir You're Being Hunted, the one where we talk about Blue Planet 2, the ocean documentaries, TV, things like that, blah 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 blah. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that episode, everyone. If you're not doing so already, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter, links in the video description as always. If you're also interested in seeing me do anime-related content, go check out my General Red Propagandist channel, link also in the video description. But in the meantime, I'm signing off now. Goodbye, everybody. Oh shit! Okay, that's an interesting flag. That's the rising sun combined with the stars and stripes. Hang on, so is this country like a fusion of America and Japan? How interesting. Yes, well, yeah, that is interesting. What?
This is on the quiet day. I kind of like this now. And not that kind of girl. This is on the quiet day. I kind of like this now. And not that kind of girl. This is on the quiet day. I kind of like this now.
Okay, fine. That's enough of that. God. In-game S&M. Why do I still have the fly swatter?